Welcome to Beyond Sunday with Pastor Nick Williams. South Shore Community Church exists to help all people find and follow Jesus. Join us weekly as we talk through current sermons, theology, parenting issues, and how to have a gospel-centered marriage. We are praying that today's message helps you grow closer to Jesus. Now, here's your host, Pastor Nick.
Welcome to Beyond Sunday, where for the month of July, we are exploring the principles of leadership and personal growth through John Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. This was a book that was particularly influential for me. When I first got into ministry in my young 20s, I took a class in seminary, and this book was the textbook. It was the first book I'd read by John Maxwell, and so I thought for this year, every year in July, I try to go through several leadership books, and I decided, I'll go back through this one. And let's do it as a team. Let's do it as a podcast world. So today we're diving into the second law, the law of influence. This law states that leadership is influence, nothing more, but also nothing less. So let's unpack what this means and how it can shape our leadership journey. In my own leadership journey, I've learned that influence is the heartbeat of leadership. Whether leading a church, a team, or my own family, I've seen how influence, rather than authority or title, makes the difference in truly leading others. The law of influence emphasizes that leadership isn't about titles, it isn't about positions. It's about the ability to influence others. John Maxwell explains that true leadership cannot be awarded, appointed, or assigned. It comes only from influence, and that cannot be mandated. It must be earned. Maxwell defines the law of influence by saying the true measure of leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. This famous quote reminds us to ask ourselves, who are you influencing? And more importantly, what type of influence are you offering those who follow you? Insecure leaders often influence people in a way that keeps others down to protect their own position. This is a shame because the best leaders realize that leadership is about raising people to their highest potential, even if it means they one day become better leaders than themselves. Leadership is not determined by having a title. It doesn't matter if you are a CEO, director, superintendent, or principal. You are not a leader if people do not follow your lead. Maxwell says true leadership cannot be awarded, appointed, or assigned. It only comes from influence. And that cannot be mandated. It must be earned. Maxwell also highlights when it comes to identifying a real leader, don't listen to the claims of the person professing to be the leader. Don't examine his credentials. Don't check his title. Check his influence. The proof of leadership is found in the followers. He ends the chapter with a famous leadership proverb, he who thinks he leads but has no followers is only taking a walk. The essence of the law of influence is that your ability to lead is directly related to your ability to influence others. Influence is earned by consistently demonstrating integrity, building trust, and caring for those you lead. Proverbs 27:17 says, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. This verse illustrates the influence we have on each other. Our interactions and relationships shape and refine us. Consider the Apostle Paul, whose influence was monumental in spreading the gospel. His leadership wasn't rooted in a formal title, but in his ability to inspire, teach, and mentor others. Paul's influence extended far beyond his immediate circle, impacting countless lives and shaping the early church. John Maxwell famously said, leadership is not about titles, positions, or flowcharts. It's about one life influencing another. This quote captures the essence of the law of influence. Another relevant quote is from Albert Schweitzer. Example is not the main thing in influencing others. It is the only thing. This highlights how our actions, more than our words, define our influence. I've talked to several parents over the years that they tell their kid to do one thing, but the kid does another. And as I'm talking to the parent, I realize the kid is actually doing what the parents are doing. The parents are telling the kids not to do what they're doing, right? But they're modeling it for their kids. And actions so often will speak over the words that you're saying. Imagine a school teacher who has a profound impact on their students, not because of their position, but because of their ability to connect, inspire, and mentor. This teacher's influence shapes the students' futures, guiding them to achieve more than they thought possible. We've all had that teacher that is memorable to us. They just taught different, they cared different, and their impact lasted longer than the one semester we had them as a teacher. Consider Mother Teresa, whose influence was global despite her lack of formal power. Her compassion, dedication, and service to the poor inspired people worldwide, demonstrating the power of influence over position. John Maxwell shares a story about a CEO who realized that his title alone didn't make him a leader. It was his ability to connect with his employees, understand their needs, and inspire them that made him an effective leader. Leadership through influence, not authority, transformed his company culture. Now, over the course of this month, I want to be very practical for you, so let's take a moment and talk about how you can apply the law of influence to your own leadership journey. Number one, build trust. Trust is the foundation of influence. Be consistent, be reliable, and be honest in all your interactions. Number two, invest in relationships. Take the time to build genuine connections with those you lead. Show that you care about them as individuals. Number three, lead by example. Let me say that again, lead by example. Your actions speak louder than your words. Model the behavior and values that you want to see in others. Number four, communicate effectively. Clear, transparent communication fosters trust and respect. Listen actively and speak with integrity. And finally, number five, empower others. Empower those you lead by providing opportunities for growth and recognizing their contributions. Remember, leadership is about influencing others positively and helping them achieve their full potential. Today, we explored the law of influence and its crucial role in effective leadership. Understanding and applying this law can transform the way you lead and impact those around you. Join us tomorrow as we dive into the third law, the law of process. I promise you, you won't want to miss this. Thank you for listening to Beyond Sunday. If you've enjoyed today's podcast, please subscribe, leave a review. Until next time, keep growing and leading with purpose.
Thank you for tuning in to Beyond Sunday. We hope the conversations and insights shared here have brought you encouragement and have deepened your journey of faith. If today's episode has inspired you, we invite you to follow or subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an opportunity to grow closer to Jesus alongside us. Don't forget to share this podcast with friends and family who might be blessed by it too. Until next time, thanks for joining us, and may God bless you abundantly.